As I was broadcasting the live TLDR episode, the Locker Gnome Daily Report, as we do every weekday here on YouTube, I was checking out the Gnomies.com private chat room, and Metallic X Squink, that's the username, asked a question. Is Chris doing a live Apple keynote viewing like he did for the iPhone 4S on Thursday for the education keynote? If you weren't already aware, Apple has teed up what some are saying is going to be a pretty big announcement, but what is likely going to be a decent announcement, but it's probably not going to be, massive news. Allegedly, according to reports, and I hate talking about rumors, but I think this is a good topic to discuss because it could potentially be a game changer, and we have every reason to believe that this is what it's going to be. Apple is set to announce a set of services around textbooks, a gigantic $billion+ market, and potentially transforming devices like the iPad into the textbook, not of the future, but of today. Amazon has how many books available in the Kindle store? How many? Tons. Apple's got a few books available in their iBooks app or their own bookstore, but I wouldn't say that Apple's book strategy has been all that successful. That being said, this is huge news. If you are a student, or if you ever have been a student, do you remember, or have you ever had to pay for a textbook? Let me give you the experience. You remember the end of the movie, Braveheart, when he refuses to capitulate and they take that hook and they, basically disembowel him? Remember? And he goes like that. Remember that? That is the experience of buying and selling textbooks back to a bookstore. It's that painful. Okay, maybe not that extreme, but it's expensive. And here's the thing. I buy a textbook that I barely use, this printed volume. I don't even know if I have any of my old college textbooks. Even if I needed them, I'm just like, I buy it for $50, and then I take it back to the same bookstore 3 months later, and they gave me 50 cents for the same book that they turned around and sold used, that was barely used, for $45. It's a scam. And the whole education sector is in on it. It's a scam. So what Apple has the possibility of doing, if they have the right tools and the right partnerships in mind with all these textbook companies, is transforming that market and taking that textbook to where it needed to be. Imagine having access to a rich piece of media for learning that didn't cost as much as a traditional textbook and didn't really hurt students as much as it did before, because it's a lightweight, having one computer lugging around with you versus, several books that weigh 1,000 pounds apiece. It gets pretty heavy over time. Going that route, it's more than just text. Textbooks, got text and photos, but imagine layering on video and interactivity and comments and threading and collaboration. The world is your oyster as a student. And textbooks weigh you down, man. If Apple is set to announce this, it's a big news, I would say. It's a big event, certainly. Not something that I'm going to cover live, but I did want to address it because I do think that it's potentially transformative if Apple does it right. Imagine what they did for the music industry, okay? Whether you like Apple or not, imagine them doing the same thing for the textbook industry. Imagine. Instead of something costing $50, costing something like $5. And it's the same information, but delivered in a better format, and it would be so much more affordable. Oh, what a dream come true. Blue Skies on YouTube notes, don't some professors write their own books and make you buy them for their lectures? Yeah, they do. Like I said, the whole sector's in on it. Not that I'm putting on my tinfoil hat, not that I'm saying it's a conspiracy, but man, there were some semesters that I would pay like $350 for books. What was your worst semester?
Yeah, I think $103 for one book.
$103 for one book. Now imagine if that same information with additional bonuses layered on top was $10. Who wouldn't like that? Who of you? No, I'd rather spend $100. It's good. I don't know who you people are. I really don't. Oh, and as Mr. Johnny Uncensored notes here on YouTube, and it saves the environment. Didn't even think about that. Yeah, think about those trees. All those trees that you are killing to better yourself in education. Okay, maybe that's a bit too far. Geek Girl 27, a registered Nomi in the privatenomies.com chat room, notes that she pays $400 a semester for 2 books. Apple is talking about taking that and doing, I'm imagining, more than having it, like just decimating it and making it easier and more affordable. Will the textbook publishers kowtow? Well, the writing's on the wall. We're all going mobile these days, and I can't imagine you students out there aren't going mobile. And the idea of using a printed volume of text to do any research is antiquated at best. I would have killed to have electronic text. Just text. Forget photos. Just the basic electronic text. I would have killed for that when I was in school, either in high school or in college. Imagine layering on quizzes and learning strategies on top of the plain old text. You don't get that in a textbook. Apple they're not talking about doing something small. They're talking about transforming the textbook industry. And if there's a company out there that can do it, Apple is one. Who's another company that can pull it off? Amazon could do it if they want to. They have the power. They have the potential. They're certainly known for books. We shall see what happens. But I would say, even if Apple doesn't do this, the textbook industry, this billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar industry, is rife for a restructure. It needs a shakeup. Disruption is the name of the game, and Apple loves disruption. Ooh, they live for disruption, because that is where the money is made. If you thought Apple was a formidable opponent now, imagine what happens when students really are relying on Apple's products, because that's the only place that they can get electronic textbooks, unless those textbooks are made available on other platforms. We'll see how this plays out. But the bottom line, if you're a student, you don't really spend a lot of money. You save the money. Or you're doing it and you're spending money to make yourself better, to give yourself an education, to give yourself a leg up, to give you better resources. And electronic books can not only save you money, they can make that job of learning easier. Oh, every step of the way. Oh, I would have killed for electronic textbooks. Oh, well, even if it's not the future on Thursday, it is the future.